Tennessee Devils, part of the Tri-State Challenge presented by Mazda. And as always, closed captioning is provided by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. And here's our Audi goaltending matchup, and it's a good one. Henrik Lundqvist has really played two back-to-back outstanding games in Winnipeg and Minnesota.
Doesn't look that far off from when he was at the top of his game when he got hurt, does he, Sam?
You're right about that, Joe. Across the way, Corey Schneider, who has played a lot, 65 decisions. You see that? The numbers are good. He has kept his team in games all season long.
He is an an outstanding goaltender. I mean, this is a young defense in front of him, but he has been good all season.
Devils beat Montreal in a shootout last night. It was their first win in the last 7 games. And the Rangers, having put together back-to-back wins, come back home looking for the magic number of 5 to clinch the Eastern Conference. Rangers open up with Stepan, Kreider, and Miller. And Derek Stepan telling us before the game he'd like to be called the kid line. I said, wait a second. He said, I'm still 25.
Yeah, he is still a kid. Oh, what a save.
Tough shot.
That was deflected.
Lundqvist stayed with it. Starting lineups coming in at the top of your screen. Brought to you by Infinity. Luxury cars that deliver inspired performance.
He's like a 5-year-old that's playing with a couple of 2-year-olds on the wing. You know, Sam?
That's a good point.
How about that? He's the experienced one.
That's right. He said, don't call me the old man now. I said, never. Mark Stahl is on with Dan Boyle. Lundqvist plays it into the corner. Quick turnaround shot by Stefan Matteau, recently recalled from Albany in the American League.
Good start from Henrik Lundqvist. This shot that comes in from the point gets deflected by Zubris right there. Knocks it down. Lundqvist has to then kick out the right leg. That shot was going well to his left, and he reacted in a very quick manner to make the save.
Face-off win. John Merrill with the puck. Talking to a few of the players before the game, all very high on John Merrill and his potential with the Devils.
They think that the offensive side of his game, Sam, is really going to improve. Played his college hockey at Michigan. This is a real good core of young defense. And then throw in Andy Green with that group and the goaltender. And, the Devils, they could find some offense to their game. They could turn this thing around in a hurry next season.
There's Merrill, number 7, with Damon Severson, number 28. The puck dumped in. Rangers with Keith Yandel and Matt Hunwick. On defense, healthy scratches James Shepard. Kevin Klein remains out with a broken bone in his arm. He will be checked midweek, get an x-ray, and see where he's at after 4 weeks since the injury. But the Rangers and the coaching staff, led by head coach Alain Vigneault, feel that Kevin Klein will be ready at the start of the playoffs.
You know, that's what you talked in the open, Sam, about the remarkable season they're having. When you think about, they lose Henrik Lundqvist, they lose Kevin Klein, and this team, they didn't miss a beat. Now, you lose your top goaltender and you continue to win. It tells you an awful lot about the coaching.
Zuccarello coming around the net. His shot blocked. He chips it to Brassard, who fires from a sharp angle. Josephson able to move it ahead to Ruutu. That's stopped by Hunwick. Turned quickly by Zuccarello. Nash, long shot. The rebound played by Fraser. And here is Adam Henrique. That's off the skate. And a good play by Hunwick to slow the Devils down. Quickly cleared out. And played by Eric Jelena. Tucked in by Dina Zubris. And out to center. Zuccarello looking. Gets it to Brassard, who was knocked away by Green. Rangers take it back. And Derek Brassard drops it back to Dan Girardi. Girardi and McDonough paired on defense here.
There's that familiar formula. And set up by the Devils. Trying to get through the neutral zone has always been difficult, and it's going to be a key again in this game.
Snyder playing it to Adam Larson. Nice takeaway by Kreider. Then he ran into Green. And Larson able to pick up the puck and carry it out. Off the glass. McDonough moves it back to Girardi. Stepan was tied up there by Zajac. And Stefan Matteau, a first-round draft pick a couple of years ago, 29th overall, trying to really hold on, getting an opportunity to play, and he's trying to hold on to a spot in the NHL.
Played a good game last night against Montreal.
Camilleri sent it. Save by Lundqvist. Great save off Travis Zajac on a terrific setup from Mike Camilleri.
Did Lundqvist ever read this one perfectly? All alone, coming from the other side, was Travis Zajac. Dan Boyle goes over, leaves a little room in front, and Lundqvist was just there waiting for the shot.
Another face-off win. Reed Boucher comes out and shoots wide. Boucher had a goal last night against Montreal. The puck deflects out of play. You talk about players who trouble to score. That's having trouble scoring is Zajac, who's had points in only 2 of his last 15 games.
Yeah, Lou Lamoriello also told us before the game how happy he was with Scott Stevens and Adam Oates, the co-coaches, but he said that will not be the case next season. He is going to hire a coach.
That shot deflected, dropped down. The whistle blows as the referee lost sight of it. The puck actually carried behind the net. But the whistle stopped play.
Now, Lou said we got to have one voice, and so that decision will be made sometime after the season. Here's the faceoff. The Rangers actually win the faceoff, but then lose control of the puck. And that is blocked on the way in, and Boyle gets a piece of it.
Scott Gomez, one-time Ranger, second time with the Devils. He's played pretty well this season.
He has.
And feels that he'll have a job somewhere next season in the NHL.
You know what he said, Sam? He said, I wish I would have gotten to know Adam Oates 10 years ago. They go over videotape. He says, the things that I have learned from Adam Oates to make my game better. He said, I just can't believe I haven't met him up until this point. He said, well, it would have been so good for my game to learn from a guy who thinks the game so well. Just little subtle things, positioning, where you put your stick. He said all those things have really helped him this season.
He didn't learn his elbowing, though, from Adam Oates.
Oh, he did.
Scott Gomez got a major for elbowing Evgeny Yemelin last night, and he was fined today by the NHL. Schneider holding on to the puck, stopping play.
Gomez, he and Yemelin came together. Gomez went hard into the boards. And, you know, sometimes you just get mad and you get upset and you do something like that. And you know what? He paid the price. 5-minute major. His team killed off the penalty. And he'll pay the fine and get back to it tonight.
Rangers control the draw. Marty St. Louis took the face-off against Zajac. In deep, Hagelin. Hagelin checked there by Adam Larson. And St. Louis with Green on him. Devils doing a good job. Not giving the Rangers any room. St. Louis took the shot from Zajac. Hayes behind the back pass, taken away by Matteau. Out for Zajac. He dumps it into the Ranger zone. Off the board, Yandel gave it away to Camilleri. Quick pass was broken up in front. As McDonough got a piece of it.
Marty St. Louis wanted a hooking call as he tried to carry the puck out of his zone. Nothing was called.
Zuccarello escapes it clear. Down the middle goes Rick Nash. Yandel drops it off for McDonough. He was checked from behind by Henry. That deflects in! Off John Merrill of the Devils. And the Rangers have a 1-0 lead. Is it Rick Nash, number 42?
I think it's Zuccarello, Sam.
Yeah?
That's just my thought initially. I thought it hit Merrill as well, but we'll see. Rangers do a nice job out of their own zone. Zuccarello makes such a smart play. All of a sudden he just shows up. There he is. Has it. He tries to set up Nash. Nash had his stick there. Get another look. It doesn't hit Nash's stick, I think, Sam. I think it does go to Nash.
He led the way to the bench for the congratulations. That would be a career-high 42 for Rick Nash.
Sam, I don't even think Rick Nash saw the puck, but did you see what he does? Has his stick on the ice, in position. I don't think he saw the pass, but you put your stick on the ice when you're around the net. That's why he had 41 going in there. Look at his stick. Sticks on the ice, right between the legs.
Wow.
He gets a piece of that.
Your man,
What a play.
Zuccarello.
I
Put
love
your
the guy.
stick on the ice, Zuccarello.
He will. He will. He's a great passer.
Rangers get the goal going to the net, and Rick Nash right in front. And the Rangers take the lead. Mark Stahl fires across. Rangers' magic number for clinching the Eastern Conference is 5.
Dan, this is where Scott Stevens will really help these young players. You know, he'll teach Merrill in a situation like this. His positioning was just off a little bit, and he didn't have the stick, which you have to do. And Rick Nash deflects it in. Not much of a chance for Schneider.
Steve Bernier, number 18, with a pass tipped by Derek Stepan. Stepan able to control, chipping it ahead, and it's cleared out by Miller. A.T. Miller picks it up. Hands it across. Larson on him. Bump. Larson takes the puck and moves it quickly. Boucher's pass across to Gomez. Gomez peels back. Give and go. Lundqvist bangs it off the boards. Already able to move it up to Jesper Fast. Tanner Glass sends it in. More Glass and Fast the line for the Rangers. Here's Eric Jelena.
Rangers goal, his 42nd of the season.
McDonough clears it out. The cheers rising up from the Garden crowd for Rick Nash as his name is announced as the goal scorer. And those are Zooks. Zook getting the assist along with Keith Yandel. Keith Yandel with 7 assists in the last 8 games.
And that's a new career high in goals for Rick Nash.
Absolutely terrific season he's had. Nash from Zuccarello and Yandel at 5-10. This is an icing on the Rangers. Devils have had 6 shots on goal. Rangers only 3. Rangers have the lead.
Well, the one thing that the Devils and their coaches and Lou Lamoriello have not complained about has been their effort. Well, it's just a team that they're a little slow up front. They're a little old up front, and they need some goal scoring. And they also have had some of the players they count on have had off years in the offensive categories as well.
Some of those older players are being weeded out. Jaromir Jagr was traded to Florida.
It was a good deal for them. 2 second-round draft picks.
Michael Ryder is not playing much. Let's see what the future holds for Scott Gomez and Patrick Elias.
Elias has 1 year remaining on his contract. Gomez will be an unrestricted free agent.
Hunwick tied up by Matt Tove. Camilleri on the outskirts, but St. Louis was able to move it. That pass blocked by Zajac, deflects on goal and is covered by Lundqvist. 7:40 gone by. First period. The Rangers, led by their leading goal scorer, Rick Nash, lead it 1-0. We're back home. That means John Gianone's back in his comfortable spot between the benches. John.
Yeah, Sam, I'll let the fans in on a little bit of a broadcast secret. We choose our first period intermission guest before the game even starts. So our producer, Chris Ebert, the soothsayer on that one, because we have Rick Nash between periods. And I will guarantee you, when Nash is in with Al Trautwig, he will say that it was all Matt Zuccarello's play, because when I saw them talking on the bench, Nash was giving Zuccarello all the credit for that goal. You're probably right. Zook hit the stick more than Rick Nash did the redirection. So we have Nash in studio. You could send your questions to him on Twitter. Use the hashtag NYR. Ron Duguay is our analyst tonight. You could send your thoughts to him as well, guys.
Thanks, John. We'll look forward to that. Matt Zuccarello, the setup man.
He's got that kind of accuracy with his passing. You have to have your stick on the ice in order for Zuccarello to hit it.
But you've said it all along, Joe, the great vision he has on the ice.
He just sees the game so well. Even his ability to read that play, to pick up the puck, that led to the goal.
Last Ranger to score 42 goals, Marian Gaborik in 2009, 2010. And Rick Nash Scores his 42nd for 41, 2003-2004 season. Zajac gets to the puck, sets up Camilleri, saved by Lundqvist. Again, Lundqvist in good position, and the quick shot from Mike Camilleri. The Rangers are headed to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tune to MSG Network for exclusive first-round Stanley Cup playoff games as the chase for the Cup begins. The Rangers playoffs on MSG. Every second counts.
There's still 7 teams that the Rangers could face in the first round. 7 teams.
Tough to figure out who they'll meet, and the head coach has said they're not even thinking along those lines.
No.
Right now, it's all about getting their game sharp for the playoffs. That was off Mark Stahl. Shot by Elias goes wide. Zubris around to Adam Henrique. Checked there by Stahl. Stahl's got a broken stick. And he dropped it and heads to the bench. The Rangers change on defense. Here's Henrique. Yandel has come on. Elias, that was a pass broken up. Hunwick checking Zubris in front. Nash backhands it deep. Short hop by Corey Schneider. And John Merrill carries for the Devils. Gomez was slowed down. Nice play by Miller. Gomez takes it back. Well, over 9 minutes gone by, first period. And the Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Good job at the blue line by Hunwick. Sent in by John Merrill. Yandel try to play it. Now it's Chris Kreider. Yandel's pass off of Hunwick. He wasn't expecting it. Bernier in. Saved by Lundqvist. Oh, Lundqvist with a great start to the game. He stopped at least 3 from right there in that spot, right in that area.
Yeah, they forced the Rangers into a few turnovers here in this first period, and those have turned into good scoring chances. Here's the pass that goes off the skate of Hunwick, and that leads to this opportunity by Bernier, and there's Lundqvist. Bernier's had a good season for the Devils, and Lundqvist with some real good saves here in the first.
Rangers come out with it, and Glass plays it off the boards. Fraser sending it across to Jelena, and up ahead to Jordan Tutu. Nice play by McDonough. Rangers tie things up along the boards. Foss moves it across. Girardi sends it in, took a hit from Como Ruutu. Jelena for Ruutu. Fraser was bumped by Glass. Jelena's got it. Past the midway point of the first period. McDonough with a takeaway, and it's taken back by Josephson. Hagelin back for him, around to Girardi. Devils' forecheck has been good. Andy Green for the Devils. That's knocked away by Hagelin. Larson trying to keep it moving. Stahl took a hit from Matteau. That's centered through, and the pass to St. Louis went by him. Good idea by Dan Boyle. Larson lost control and was chipped in front. Schneider had to bat it into the corner. Around for Marty St. Louis. Plays the boards. Dan Boyle in deep. Kevin Hayes trying to get it down low. Camilleri with a good defensive play. Now to Zajac. Off the stick of Camilleri, and Boyle's got it. And Boyle telling us this morning that his game has really come along the last few weeks because he's really understanding his role a lot better now.
Well, get more ice time as well because of Klein being out of the lineup.
Severson played it deep, and Nash cleared it out. Zuccarello dumps it in. Elias picks off Brassard. Brassard stays with him. Merrill tried to move it, but Zuccarello checked in. Good aggressive work by Brassard and Zuccarello. Puck out to Adam Henrique. And offside, Devils on the play. 8:16 to go in the first period. Rangers have had only 4 shots on goal, but they have a 1-0 lead. Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. See the Rangers, 50 win seasons in their history. 1994, 52, 2012, 51, 1992-50, and the Rangers on the verge with 49 wins right now. What a great job Alain Vigneault has done.
Who's done a better job of coaching than him? Again, he should be in the certainly in the conversation for Coach of the Year.
Totally agree with you.
And there's always good candidates, but again, he's done a marvelous job this year with injuries and you name it.
Rangers come in 3-on-2. The shot by Miller deflected up in the netting, and play stops with 8:06 to go here in the first period. The New York Spring Spectacular, presented by Chase, starts the Rockettes with Laura Benanti from ABC's Nashville and Derek Huff from Dancing with the Stars. Now through May 3rd only at Radio City. For tickets, visit Rockettes.com/spring. A great show to take the family to. That shot goes in! Keith Yandel with his first as a New York Ranger. And it's 2-0.
What a play by Chris Kreider on the faceoff. The Rangers lose the faceoff. Here's Kreider. Keep an eye on him. Little momentum. Fights off one man. Gets it back to Yandel. Yandel fakes a pass and throws it at the net, and a screen. Corey Schneider doesn't have it. What a play. Using his size and his strength, his quickness. Kreider gets in there. Makes the play. That allows Yandel to get the shot in the Rangers with a 2-0 lead.
And it's his first as a Ranger here at Madison Square Garden. His second overall. He had one in Buffalo. So the Rangers now with a 2-0 lead. And Keith Yandel with 2 points in the game.
Careful!
On the boards. Rangers pick it up. Tanner Glass chips it in, chases it down, centers for Moore. He scores! Oh, wow! That was a beauty from the Rangers' fourth line. Tanner Glass beating Dominic Moore.
They get out of their zone so quickly and move up the ice. Here's the original collision. Down deep. Puck's in the corner, right? Now, here it goes. Play off the boards. Support. Go get it. Tanner Glass gets his own pass in. No one covering Dominic Moore from his own end all the way up the middle of the ice. Beautiful pass. Dominic Moore with the finish. He has goals in consecutive games, and we have a goaltending change.
Corey Schneider is pulled with 7:36 to go here in the first period, giving up 3 goals on 6 shots. And Keith Kincaid, who was outstanding last night at Montreal, has come into the game.
He was the #1 star in the game last night. Camilleri and Hagelin having some words at the face-off circle.
Rangers with 3 goals here in the first. The last 2 in a span of 25 seconds. Yandel at 11:59, Moore at 12:24. And the Rangers with a big lead. Good play by Marty St. Louis on Zajac. Here's Andy Green winding up. Shot blocked. And Kevin Hayes picks it up. Slides it ahead, trying to get it to Hagelin. Nice play by St. Louis to keep in, but Zajac able to get it out of the zone. Hayes comes over. Up ahead, the lead for Matteau. His pass taken away by McDonough. Knocked down by Matteau. His shot blocked by Girardi. 6:40 to go in the first period. The Rangers with 3 goals on 6 shots.
Rangers have taken advantage of every opportunity to score, and Lundqvist has stopped some quality scoring chances by the Devils.
Right on there. Devils with 8 shots. Lundqvist with outstanding saves. Rick Nash, Keith Yandel, and Dominic Moore scoring the goals for the Rangers. Zubrus toward the net, save on a deflection by Elias. Lundqvist kicked out the right pad. Here's Nash looking for Zuccarello. That just missed. Rangers are flying right now.
Boy, they're getting the puck in their zone, and they are moving it up the ice so quickly.
Penalty upcoming on the Rangers. The late penalty, Severson moves in. Rangers touch up, and the first power play of the game will go to the Devils. 5:48 to go, a holding call, and a couple of players are separated. Broussard and Bernier.
And Elias, actually, he jumped in there as well.
Rangers have a 3-0 lead. Keith Yandle from Chris Kreider. Dominic Moore from Tanner Glass and Jesper Fast. Rangers a 3-0 lead.
Eric Broussard in the penalty box for the New York Rangers. He was in on the forecheck. This happened in the offensive zone. There's Broussard. Let's see, one hand on the stick. This contact with the free hand. And I believe that is the call.
Okay. Broussard for holding at 14-12. Rangers have given up only one power play goal over the last 7 games. They are 17 for 18 on the penalty kill. That's been one of their strong points all season long.
Yeah, and a strong point for the Devils all season long for their power play. Team that a low-scoring team, they've had a good power play.
Rangers with McDonough, Girardi, Stepan, and Nash as the penalty killers.
Man, how about Ottawa up 3-0 in the first period on Washington, trying to hang in there.
Gomez leads Jelena, who takes it deep around the boards for Camilleri. And the Rangers clear. McDonough, they would send it all the way down. 5:10 to go in the first period. Rangers with a 3-0 lead. Steve Bernier. Gomez chases. Stahl is there. He's tied up by Bernier. Camilleri looking to play it. Hagelin has come on with Dominic Moore. Jelena gets it to Gomez. Stahl's stick got caught in Gomez's skates briefly. And then the shot that was stopped by Lundqvist. Hagelin in with Moore. Moore goes to the net. And that went through on goal. It was stopped by Kincaid. Keith Kincaid replacing Corey Schneider. Schneider was beaten for 3. Henrique. Rangers doing a good job. Jesper Fast. Zajac back for it. 25 seconds to go in the Devils' power play.
They are not allowing the Devils anything.
Damon Severson dumps it in. After it was Josephson, gonna pick him up around the boards. Tanner Glass has come on with Jesper Fast. Zajac, quick pass. Henrique shoots, deflected wide. Zajac to Severson. Now to Josephson. Off Henrique's stick. Zajac plays it. Power play is over. Zajac checked by Girardi. Zajac has it back. His shot is saved by Lundqvist. Through traffic. 3 players right in front of him. And Lundqvist finds the puck and holds it.
That's a real good job of penalty killing by the Rangers. And then Zajac at the end of it just tries a bad angle shot. Here it is again. Loses it the first time. Gets it back. And then tries to slip one past Lundqvist with Henrique in front.
3:39 to go in the first period. See Henrik Lundqvist back in the Garden since first time since February 2nd when he played against Florida and beat Florida. That was after he was injured the previous game against Carolina.
Pretty remarkable, isn't it? And actually very lucky.
Route 2 pass intercepted. Nice play coming back on Marty St. Louis.
That's what they do so well, this team. Their forwards, the Ranger forwards, they come back so hard to help out defensively.
Lundqvist got out quickly and stopped that puck. Yandle reverses. Yandle with a goal and an assist in the game already gives him 8 points over the last 8 games. Hayes controlling. Beats St. Louis. The shot deflected by Elias goes up into the netting. 3 minutes to go. Hagelin went down.
Yeah, good setup again by Kevin Hayes. Hayes coming up the ice, had Route 2 on him, banging away at him, and he held on. Meanwhile, Hagelin got hit awkwardly. Looked like he was jumping to try and get out of the way of the shot. And the grimace.
Shot by Yandel, knocked away by Kincaid. Played by Severson. It's recovered by Yandel. Yandel weaving his way in. Broussard there to play it. It's forced out by Matteau. Nash was blocked by Zajac, but gets help from Yandel. Merrill back for it. Merrill heads up ice. 2.5 minutes to go in the first period. Camilleri with the puck. Fires it across. He's trying to get it to Matteau. Zuccarello plays it out. And Severson has it back. The Rangers with 3 goals already against a team that has scored only 2 goals, no more than 2 goals in their last 7 games, in any of these 7 games. Miller, hard across, trying to get it to step on. Gomez has it, and it got deflected by Mark Stahl out of play. Time for our Papa John's 3rd goal replay, Joe.
Well, it all starts in the Ranger zone, and when they're coming out of their zone quickly, and here it comes. One little pass, here comes Tanner Glass, throws it off the boards to himself. No one picks up Dominic Moore right down the middle of the ice. And that is not typical New Jersey Devils defensive hockey.
The Force should get some pizza for that. The day after the Rangers score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your regular menu price online order at papajohns.com with promo code Rangers3. Available at participating Papa John's locations. Gomez with a takeaway, feeds Jelena. Out to him was Tanner Glass. Gomez fires in front. That was deflected away by McDonough. And cleared out by Jesper Fast. Devils 12 shots on goal. Rangers 8. Jelena moves in. Checked by McDonough. That's intercepted by Zuccarello. Zook up from the crowd. Checked by Green. A feed off the stick of Hunwick, but has it back.
What a pass. He was looking at the point man on the other side and fired it all the way across and just missed Broussard.
Poked loose by Zuccarello. Green keeps it moving. Yandel comes down to try and get it. He's caught up by Zubras. And Zubras moves it out. Put back in by Rick Nash. Offside Rangers. 42.4 seconds remaining here in the first period. The Rangers are hosting youth hockey camp at the Madison Square Garden Training Center. Players ages 7 to 15 will receive training from top instructors in the sport. Don't forget to register your youth hockey player today. Andy Green. Matteau bats it up in the air. Went straight up in the air and dropped down the Ranger zone. St. Louis back to Boyle. Leads Marty St. Louis and taken away by Zajac. But he gives it right back. Hayes to St. Louis. And Larson comes back. Zajac playing it for Matteau. Checked there by Stahl. Rangers doing a good job. And Zajac coming back in. Dropped it off for Camilleri. Looking, shooting, and a save by Lundqvist. With 7/10 of a second remaining in the period. Henrik Lundqvist has been tracking that puck well. Seeing the puck, finding the puck through traffic. Outstanding start to the game.
Matteau and Mark Stahl have had a little something going here in this first period. Matteau's a big kid, 220 pounds. They want him to play like a power forward. Mark Stahl doesn't want him to play like a power forward.
That's right.
So they've had a few run-ins here in the first period.
Face off to end the period, and that's it. A real good period for the Rangers. Rick Nash got it going with his 42nd. Corey Steiner got chased. A career-high 42nd goal, and then the Rangers, 2 goals in a span of 25 seconds. Keith Yandel and Dominic Moore. Outstanding play by Henrik Lundqvist. Rangers head off with a 3-0 lead. We go to the Visa Gameside studio to Al Trautwig. Al.
Okay, Sam, coming up on the Delta Intermission Report, we'll talk to Rick Nash and find out how important the number 42 is to him and whether that was a perfect period by the New York Rangers. Plus, Bill Pito checks out all challengers in the Eastern Conference for the Rangers with the Audi MSG 150. And Ron Duguay will talk about the decisiveness the Rangers played with in the first 20 minutes. The Rangers score, and then score, and then score again. And it's a very decisive, speaking of that word, 3-0 lead for them. Rick Nash got it going. We'll talk to him next on the Delta Intermission Report.
We are back at Madison Square Garden for tonight's game between the Rangers and the Devils, part of the Tri-State Challenge presented by Mazda. Rangers with a 3-0 lead. Take a look at the Eastern Conference standings brought to you by Kia. They're the Rangers, 105 points, 1 point ahead of Montreal, but 2 games in hand. And the Rangers with a shot. Any combination of 5 points the Rangers get, Montreal fails to get, adding up to 5, and the Rangers will clinch the Eastern Conference. Tampa Bay with 102 points. Keith Yandle, how about this? 50 points this season. He is one of 3 defensemen in the NHL to have back-to-back 50-point seasons.
Yeah, he's got a brilliant offensive mind, the way he passes the puck and his vision on the ice. He doesn't like to shoot it as much as he likes to pass it and set up players.
8 points over the last 8 games, a goal and 7 assists. The other 2 who've had back-to-back 50-point seasons the last 2 years, Erik Karlsson of Ottawa and PK Subban of the Montreal Canadiens.
Now, Sam, you're looking at the standings, talking about that. The Rangers won 3 of their last 5 games. They're going to win the President's Trophy.
That's it. Yeah, you're right. 6 points. Anaheim has only 2 games remaining. And they are at 107.
If they finish tied, the Rangers are going to win with the regulation and overtime wins category.
Good hustle after the puck by Tanner Glass. Glass costed more on for the Rangers.
No, Frazier with a cross check now. He and Tanner Glass have gone at one another a little bit.
Rangers with a couple of shots that Kincaid stopped. Kincaid entered the game after the Rangers scored their 3rd goal, replacing the starter Corey Schneider, who gave up 3 goals on 6 shots. Pass in front. Stepan was checked from behind by Zubras. Derek Stepan, by the way, got an assist in that first period on the goal by Keith Yandle. Rangers with several players who are going well over the last 8 or 9 games. Kreider with 8 points. Stepan with 8 points. Yandle with 8 points over the last 8 games. And Zuccarello with 9 points over the last 9. Down low save! Great save by Lundqvist. That shot blocked by McDonough. There was a wide open net for Zubras, and McDonough slid across to block it. Kreider racing from the puck. Jelena pushed it back to the goaltender.
Yeah, that play started with Derek Stepan just lost control of the puck in the corner, popped off his stick. And what a save by Lundqvist.
You hear the chant up from the crowd. Henrik, Henrik. He is back and playing at the top of his game. Nash with a good shot that's stopped by Kincaid, and he decides to stop play.
Yeah, the Devils have had chances in this 3-0 deficit of a game for them. Here's Stepan, just loses it right here. Reaches out, can't get control, and then this, what a save. I mean, Lundqvist just gets over his anticipation of where the shot's going to be, and then he gets help. Now there he is again, waiting over there as Elias has that chance, and then McDonough comes up with a brilliant block with Lundqvist trying to scramble back into the net.
Away with the puck, Stefan Matteau. Camilleri carries it off the boards for Matteau. He's checked here by Boyle, who poked it away and takes it away. Zuccarello for Nash. Stopped by Andy Green. Broussard is tied up, double teamed, and Matteau's got it. Matteau is Zajac. The shot caught off by Lundqvist off his chest. From Larson. And that's whistled down for an offside. We are 2:48 into the second period. And the Rangers holding a 3-0 lead. Rangers.
Adam Larson, who is, as Lou Lamoriello was telling us before the game, he said the big difference in Adam Larson now as opposed to the early part of the season and previous seasons, he says it's just confidence. Now, he's done a few good things. So when he has performed well, they've given him more minutes. Now he's playing well into the 20 minutes. He played over 24 minutes last night against Montreal, and playing with Andy Green certainly has helped him as well.
Well, they've been patient with him, Joe, and that's a good thing, a real good thing. It came to them as an 18-year-old. Save on the backhander by Boucher, and Lundqvist again finding the puck quickly.
That's a good backhand by Boucher. He was recalled. Starts with Lundqvist, who tries to play it around the boards. Good job of keeping the play alive, and then Boucher with a good backhander. That was Bernier with a good play on the boards.
Gomez and Hayes for the face-off. A little over 3 minutes gone by here in the second. Jelena looking for an opening. That was blocked. Played in deep. Bernier against Hunwick. St. Louis tried to clear. That was blocked by Boucher. Now the Rangers come out with it. Hayes moving in. Jelena there. Hayes spins. Tried to feed Hagelin. And Merrill had him checked. Back the other way. Boucher. Reed Boucher moves in. Drops it back to Gomez. Now to Jelena. And there's Hayes making the defensive play.
That was an odd man rush initially by New Jersey. And the Rangers, all their players came back in the defensive zone and prevented a scoring chance.
Off the boards to Gomez. Gomez against Stahl. All the way through Boucher. Save. Lundqvist looks for it. Doesn't know where it is. It's underneath the pads.
That was a good scoring chance by Boucher. Devils do a good job with the puck over the blue line this time. And Boucher, a recent recall along with Matteau, gets that scoring chance. He had a 60-goal season one year in junior hockey.
That's a good season anywhere.
He played a couple of years with J.T. Miller. They played together on a line for the national program.
Josephson against Dominic Moore. False start. They'll do it again. Nearly 4 minutes in, second period. Rangers 3 goals in the first period, 2 of them coming in the span of 25 seconds. The Rangers have the 3-0 lead. Fraser's shot blocked by Fost. Fraser again across. Severson's shot. That went off Tanner Glass. Fost takes over and lifts it out. Fraser knocked it down. Pushed ahead by Glass. And then Fraser with a hard hit. Taking down Glass.
Well, they've come together a few times.
Chance in front. Went off the post. Fost just missed. Back the other way. Tutu's pass deflected by Fost. Stahl plays it off the board. Shot by Larson. He came off the bench with his stick in shooting position, and he fired on goal. And again, Lundqvist ready. Dumped in by Miller. Green moves it quickly to Larson. Around the glass for Tutu. And Josephson tries to lead Ruutu. Ruutu spins and shoots. Saved by Lundqvist. Girardi trying to control. Got help from McDonough. Devils keep coming. They are really working hard to get chances.
Well, we talked about before, work ethic and trying has not been an issue with the Devils. They're not going to stop coming after you despite the score. Last night they had just 18 shots in the game, and in this game they've already got 19.
6 shots here in the second period. In the first 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Rangers have had 2 in the period. Devils out shooting the Rangers 19-10. The Rangers with a 3-0 lead. Green to Larson. There's Green moving up with it. Lundqvist stops it. Henrik Lundqvist wants to sharpen his game. He's getting plenty of work.
I don't know if he can be any sharper than he's been.
Merrill to Jelena. Pass was tipped. Stopped by Hunwick. Quick shot. Knocked down by Kincaid. Up the boards. Past Zuccarello and brought out by Camilleri. Larry leads Matteau. Hunwick stays with him. Matteau skating well. Here's Zajac around the net. Pass went off the skate of Yandel, and the Rangers come out. Nash with Zuccarello. Nash looking, shooting, save Kincaid. Picked up by Zajac, got by Zuccarello, and a nice play by Brassard, who deflected back into his own zone. Dan Boyle for Hagelin, and back to Stahl. Rangers won the first two meetings of the season between these two teams. One in New Jersey and one here at the Garden. Shot by Hagelin, saved by Kincaid, and he holds it. 6:51 gone by, second period. Good action at both ends. Rangers leading 3-0.
Yeah, the Rangers with a 3-0 lead. They nearly made it 4-0. Tanner Glass, real good job to get the puck ahead of him. Takes a hit for his trouble, but it turns into this. Dominic Moore with the setup. Jesper Fast just off the post. As the Rangers' fourth line comes close to scoring again.
Still waiting for the maintenance crew to finish up. They have gone off. Rangers set for the face-off. Rangers actually had a good first period on face-offs. Hayes wins that one. Yandel looks. Shot blocked by Boucher, and out comes Bernier. Bernier moves in. He shoots high. Might have gone off the tip of Henrik Lundqvist's glove. Cleared out by Yandel. Fraser fires it back in, and Keith Yandel back to get it.
We see that line still together. St. Louis on the right side with Hayes. Alain Vigneault is going to keep that together for a while and see if that works.
Out to Hunwick and across to Yandel. Back to Hunwick. One-timer is gloved wide of the net by Kincaid. 7:28 gone by here in the second period. World heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko returns to the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, Saturday, April 25th, to defend his titles against undefeated top-rated American challenger Ryan Jennings from Philadelphia. The World Heavyweight Championship, Saturday, April 25th. For tickets, visit thegarden.com. Nice to see the heavyweight title bout back at the Garden. Jordan Tutu off the boards all the way down, icing on the doubles.
I'm sure Alain Vigneault would like to see his team tighten up a few things after that first period. Gave up a few too many scoring chances.
Well, the first thing that is his priority is he wants to win games. He says that all the time.
Yeah.
He wants to win every game.
Keep winning.
But it doesn't prevent him from trying some things. You mentioned the line of Hayes, St. Louis, and Hagelin, and then the All-American kid line of Stepan, Kreider, and Miller. Stepan holding. Good pass. Miller's in. Save Kincaid. Miller and Jelena do a little jockeying.
Yeah, Stepan, such a good pass. Was patient. Waited, let the defender skate past him. Here it comes again. Watch how much patience he has. Waits. Defender goes past him. That was 2-2, and then he puts it right onto the tape of JT Miller, and we've seen him score from that spot recently.
Keith Kincaid has come in, done a nice job. After replacing Corey Schneider in the first period, he's faced 8 shots, stopped them all. Brassard and Zajac for the face-off. Quick shot while he was falling down, missed by Zuccarello. Good effort. Here's Zuccarello again. In deep is Girardi. McDonough's got it. That's deflected. Moved by Andy Green, and Larson backhands it ahead. Zajac played it back. Camilleri for Matteau. Now Zajac, and a good defensive play by Rick Nash. Larson toward the net, a deflection goes wide. Chased down by Zajac. Out to Larson. A wrister. And a save with a glove by Lundqvist. Got knocked out of his hands by Camilleri. And Camilleri is challenged by Zuccarello, who shoved him down. Camilleri went head over heels backwards. The fans love what Zuccarello did.
Well, Zuccarello didn't like Camilleri knocking the puck out of Lundqvist's glove. Lundqvist caught it, and I believe it was Camilleri that whacked his glove and dislodged the puck. And Zuccarello didn't like that. He says, you can't do that to my guy, Hank. So that's why he came over and had the conversation and then the push. Here's the shot again in the glove. And there you see Camilleri. Comes in with the stick.
And Camilleri looked at the referee, said, what did I do?
And he gets called for embellishment here.
Oh, okay. Here he goes.
I'm not sure he embellished it or didn't just lose his balance. I don't know if he thought anything was going to happen, but he gets called for that.
Zuccarello got 2. Camilleri got 2. The teams will skate 4 aside. Rangers have Hunwick and Stahl, St. Louis and Hayes. For their 4, Devils 4 are Elias and Zubris with Larson and Green. A little over 9 minutes gone by in the second. A Let's Go Rangers chant up from the crowd. Stahl takes it back. Hunwick leads Hayes. And offside, St. Louis ahead of the play. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. Monday night, hottest team in the NHL, the Columbus Blue Jackets. They've won 9 in a row, beat Pittsburgh 5-3 today. They'll be here. Tuesday night, Rangers at the Devils on MSG. Thursday night, Ottawa Senators are here. And then the season ends next Saturday afternoon in Washington. Yandel goes deep. Knocked away from Stepan. Boyle tried to control it, but it was taken back by Gomez. Scott Gomez moves in. Pass taken away by Nash. Nash carries in. And shoots, save Kincaid. The rebound cleared aside. And controlled by Severson. I haven't talked too much about Damon Severson, but that's another young defenseman the Devils have high hopes for.
He is. He broke a bone in his ankle in early December.
Lead for Hagelin, then he peels back. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, and then he hasn't come all the way back yet. They're trying to get him back in shape by playing games, but he is going to be a good player.
Hagelin to McDonough. Girardi to Brassard to McDonough. Rangers move very well. The shot was blocked away by Zajac, recovered by Hagelin. Leaves it for Girardi out to McDonough. Lost control. Girardi had it deflected by Severson. Hagelin finds Brassard. Back to Hagelin. Girardi set up at the top of the crease. Pass blocked by Merrill. Hagelin again to Girardi. Give and go. Teams are back at full strength on the ice. Zuccarello comes out and his shot is blocked by Josephson. Stayed in play, went off the glass. Zuccarello coming back. Camilleri on him. Camilleri pulled him down.
He had a hold of his jersey. That was a dangerous play as Zuccarello went into the boards feet first.
Nothing called on the play. Green with a shot deflected out of play by J.T. Miller. 8:46 to go. Second period. The Rangers with a 3-0 lead.
Larry still wasn't happy with the penalty or with the incident with Matt Zuccarello. Here they come afterwards. They both come out of the penalty box. Camilleri gives him a couple of shots with the stick. And watch him grab his jersey here, and then he gets his stick right into the skates. And knocks Zuccarello feet first into the boards and nothing called.
That was a dangerous play. 8:46 remaining. Zuccarello is okay. Second period. On the scoreboard in games involving teams trying to make the playoffs, Boston leads Toronto 1-0 on a goal by Patrice Bergeron. Detroit and Minnesota tied 1-1 in Minnesota. And Ottawa leads Washington 3-1.
And Detroit's been reeling a little bit. Pittsburgh lost again today, as you mentioned, Sam. There'll be some nervous teams.
Pittsburgh looked like a lock 2 weeks ago.
Now they've got some serious injuries back on defense. Up front as well.
Malkin.
Yeah, Malkin's been out, so that's... And then, of course, Letang.
That's a huge loss.
Ehrhoff has been out. He's not playing again this weekend on defense.
And that's why it's up in the air. Who's going to get the final wild card spots? Who's going to wind up in the second and third spots in the divisions? It's lifted out of the zone, and the race is on. Kreider trying to get there, and Kincaid had to come out to play it away. Kreider to Miller. Miller's off a skate, deflected, and a save. Went off a skate, went off Stepan's stick, and Kincaid made a save.
Now, Stepan didn't have a chance to control it either. Puck was spinning and just spun off his stick.
Elias to Zubris, Yandel on him. Yandel knocks it away, stopped by Severson to Mark Fraser toward the net, and pushed away with a blocker by Lundqvist. And Reek falls down. Puck out of the zone. Kreider's got it. Down the boards, Kincaid out to play it. Long pass tipped into the Rangers zone and actually went over the glass into the crowd.
Now, Kreider uses his speed on that last scoring chance for the Rangers to negate an icing. There he goes. Gets down there, forces Kincaid to come out of the net. And then here's the bouncing, rolling puck. Right there, deflection off the skate. And Kincaid had to be alert to keep that out of the net.
Sent in by Larson. And played by Dan Girardi. Cavallari got a piece of it. He battles McDonough. He's got it through and out of the zone. Pushed ahead by St. Louis. Picked off by Merrill. Interference there that the officials let go. Matteau against Girardi. Girardi stays with him, takes the puck, try to move it. It was blocked. Cavallari's like a bowling ball. He's just running into everybody.
He's not a real big player, Sam, but he's got a lot of heart.
Yes, he
always
does.
played that well. He's not afraid to go to the tough areas to score.
Good play by Girardi. Here's Hayes. And Rangers are offside. 6:05 to go here in the second period. The Rangers are hosting youth hockey camp at the Madison Square Garden Training Center. Players ages 7 to 15 will receive training from top instructors in the sport. Register your youth hockey player today. Here's Dan Boyle. And Mark Stahl. Off the stick of Kincaid. Green reverses. Rangers and Devils play again Tuesday night in Newark. And deep is Nash. Nash taken down by Elias. Winds it deep to Zuccarello. Nash against Zubris. Zuccarello gets to the puck. Now Stahl. And the shot gets through. Save Kincaid. Brassard almost got to the rebound.
Well, what a shift by Zuccarello again. Twice he intercepted plays. How about that pass?
Great pass. Nash with the shot. Gloved by Kincaid, and he holds it.
That whole shift by Zuccarello was beautiful to watch.
5:16 to go, second period. Rangers with a 3-0 lead. This is a good question. It's the Cadillac Trivia question. 3 active NHL players lead their current team in career goals. Who are they? 3 active players lead their current team in career goals. All right. Think about that for a while. Cheers from the crowd as former New York Giants defensive lineman Justin Tuck is in the house. Face-off win. Hunwick to Yandel. No scoring here in the second period. Rangers 3 goals in the first. Nash, Yandel, and Moore. Foss gets to the puck before Larson. Moore comes over. Andy Green's got it for the Devils. Off the stick of Ruutu. Foss plays it across to Yandel. Yandel with a goal and an assist in the game. And now has had a 50-point season. Larson. Green. Two guys, in looking at two guys, Joe, Yandel and Boyle. With each game, they seem to get more and more confidence in their game. Rangers move down. Hagelin says, Hayes save! Kincaid.
Well, that was a great save. Real good positioning. Bang, bang play by the Rangers. Hayes wasted no time with a shot.
Toward the net, that was blocked in front by Girardi. Who else? And cleared out of the zone.
You know, Sam, getting back to what you were saying, I was talking to Yandel this morning about that. He says, you know what? He says every day he gets a little bit more familiar with his teammates, their tendencies, where they want the puck, when they want the puck.
Step on. Kreider goes to the net. Give and go with St. Louis. Save! Tried a little change up on Kincaid.
Yeah, might have even deflected off a stick on the way there.
Matteau. Girardi got a piece of him. Stepan back for it. And you can see it just the way there's less hesitation. And with Dan Boyle, we were talking with him this morning, more confidence going forward, making the plays. Zajac tried to find an opening and a good save by Lundqvist with 3:21 to go in the second.
Yeah, the Rangers with a couple of pretty good chances. Starts with Lundqvist. Are on the boards. Here they come up the ice with speed. Boy, it doesn't take them long. And then this. What a save. Hayes started to play back on the boards, and then Stepan with this one. Yeah, see, it goes off a stick. He tried to make the pass all the way across, and it hit a stick, changed direction, and forced Kincaid to make a save.
At one point, the Devils were out shooting the Rangers 6-2 early in the period. Now the Rangers with 12 shots on goal in the period. The Devils with 10. Matteau, number 25, trying to play for the Devils. Rangers come out winning. Kreider off the boards for himself. He took himself offside.
Yeah, Merrill did a pretty good job against them. Kreider with all that speed coming down. Merrill had to try and figure out a way to slow him down before he could get past him. And so the play by Merrill forced Kreider offside.
3:06 to go here in the second period. Lou Lamoriello, the head man, has decided to make an innovative move. With two Hall of Famers on the bench with him, in Adam Oates and Scott Stevens. Nash, good pass. Brassard shot, a save by Kincaid. Nash toward the net, and that got through. May have gone off Larson, and Kincaid with another good save.
Yeah, Kincaid mentioned something to Brassard as Brassard took a whack, thinking that the puck was loose, and gets him in the pads. Kincaid's been solid.
Very nice job.
Won his 6th game of the season. He's been a real good backup this season. Long Island kid. And he's done a good job coming in for that man, Corey Schneider. That's rare to see Corey Schneider allow, first of all, 3 goals in the game. Second of all, 3 in one period.
Shot by Boyle, blocked on the way in. Set up for Stepan, a save by Kincaid. Quick release by Derek Stepan, a steal by J.T. Miller. Miller winds it down the boards, but it's taken back by Andy Green. Camilleri fell down. Zajac's got it. Matteau to the net. And that was deflected into the corner. Actually, into the corner was the blade of the stick.
Good defensive play, Dan Boyle.
Kreider, almost a big collision with Reed Boucher. Mark Fraser. That stop sent the other way by Boyle. Severson going back to get it. Fraser. Boucher across to Bernier. Yandel picks him up. For Gomez. Dominic Moore on him. Fournier trying to keep it alive against Yandle. Gomez. Boucher plays it back. Quick pass across Severson to Fraser. Saved by Lundqvist on the blocker. There's a little crowd out in front. Lundqvist fought his way through it. Puck down in the zone. 1:15 to go here in the second period. A long pass for Henrique went by him. Rangers 2 men on Henrique. Zuber comes in. Penalty call.
Hagelin.
Henrique went down, and Hagelin will go. The Devils will get their second power play of the game, the only 2 power plays of the game. Just under a minute to go in the second period, and Hagelin skates off.
Yeah, in front of the net, Hagelin looked like he was going for the puck, got the skates instead. There's the initial play, and then Henrique gets through, and Hagelin takes him down.
Coming up on the New York Lottery Intermission Report, Al Trautwig in the Visa Gameside studio, and his special guest will be the winner of the My Rangerstown competition. Hagelin for tripping, 19:04 the time. Devils 0 for 1 on the power play, had 1 shot on goal on that power play. Rangers control, and Girardi lifts it all the way down. Fost and Moore, Girardi and McDonough, the Rangers penalty killers. Johansson's pass went off the glove of Jordan Tutu into the Devils bench. The Tribeca Film Festival returns this April 15th through the 26th with red carpet premieres, music, and talks with your favorite stars. Plus, enjoy the year's best sports on film with the Tribeca/ESPN Sports Film Festival. Buy your tickets now at TribecaFilm.com.
The Maple Leafs had tied the Bruins in the second period. 1-1 now. Tampa Bay with a 2-0 lead over Florida. Florida trying to hang in.
Tough one for them. Jelena, power play Devils. Jelena checked there by Stepan. Stepan and Nash have come on with McDonough and Girardi. Here's Gomez. Toward the net, off the glove and the arm of Lundqvist. Up the boards, Nash gets their lead to Stepan. He breaks in. Stepan to the net. He scores! A short-handed goal for Derek Stepan. It's 4-0 Rangers.
All right, this team has one thing, one thought process: get the puck and go. What turns out to be a close play, watch how quickly they move it. What a pass from Nash onto the stick of Stepan, who's got all kinds of time. What a move. Gets Kincaid to open the legs, and then a little half move on the backhand, and right between the legs it goes. Short-handed for Derek Stepan, 4-0 Rangers.
And for the Rangers, their 9th short-handed goal of the season. They are tied for second in the league. Well, everything going right. End of 2 periods. It's 4-0. Derek Stepan getting the short-handed goal.
Yeah, and New Jersey came out with a quick start to the second period. They put pressure on Lundqvist with a few saves early, and then the Rangers, I thought the last 15 minutes found their game. They were more skating, more scoring opportunities, and they cap it off with the short-handed goal.
Al is standing by in the Visa Gameside studio. Al, what's coming up?
Well, Sam, Allison Carney and her family sent the video that they created to the My Rangerstown contest, and tonight in the first intermission, she found out that she was a winner. She is going to be in a very good mood coming up on the New York Lottery Intermission Report. We'll hear from Bill Pito at the MSG 150. He'll take us around the NHL, and Ron Duguay breaks down what he saw in a rather quiet second period until that final minute shorthanded goal. So it's 4-0 for the New York Rangers and Henrik Lundqvist. We'll take it to Allison Carney after this.
Yes, this is Rangerstown, and we're getting set for the third period. Rangers and the Devils, part of the Tri-State Challenge, presented by Mazda. Let's check out what the Rangers coaches are thinking. It's got to be good things, right, John?
Absolutely, Sam. Scott Arniel, the associate coach, said we've done a lot of good things tonight, especially considering we're playing against an opponent that has nothing to lose. He said they've gotten a little loose at times. We have to make sure here in the third period we don't get loose. He said the few times we've had breakdowns so far tonight, Hank has bailed us out. I brought up the point that a Devils team that averages 24 shots a game already has 25. He said we're not going to go about it any differently. We're letting Hank see a lot of pucks. If they have 20, 30, 40 shots and Hank stops them all, then we've done our job. He said we don't look at shots on goal, we look at scoring chances, and they're pretty even right now, so we are fine with the way we play defense tonight.
Thanks, John. And how about this number, Joe? Since the start of the second period of the game in Boston when he came back, Henrik Lundqvist has stopped 98 of 103 shots.
Now he's been sharp, really sharp again tonight.
Third period begins with the Devils on the power play. 1:05 remaining on the Hagelin penalty. We got a little bumping going on. And a penalty is upcoming on the Rangers.
Dominic Moore.
Right off. And a save by Lundqvist on a shot by Zajac. The puck went in, I believe, after the whistle had blown.
Yes.
And then a little get-together again.
Boy, what a save Lundqvist made again on that side. I believe it was Zajac, where he stopped a point-blank shot as it came across. Again, he just seems to be waiting for these shots. So right off the face-off, you'll see Dominic Moore and Josephson. High sticking. And then there's Zajac again with that chance, and Lundqvist. Good position, gobbles it up.
So it is a two-man advantage for the Devils as Moore is called for high sticking in 11 seconds. 54-second two-man advantage for New Jersey. Face-off win by Stepan. But Girardi wasn't able to clear. Girardi and McDonough with Derek Stepan, the Rangers 3. Devils with 5 men. On here, Zajac with the puck. Now Jelena to Camilleri, saved by Lundqvist.
Jelena has a terrific shot from the point. The Rangers have tried to stay close to him.
25 seconds to go on the two-man advantage. Camilleri moves down the boards. Elias sending it across, saved by Lundqvist as Zajac try to slide it underneath him.
Again, he gets over so quickly and is in position to make the save. Now we go back to the opening faceoff. Before they even dropped the puck, there was some pushing and shoving, and Moore and Josephson on the faceoff. Josephson puts his stick on the leg of Moore, kind of pushes him away a little bit, then Moore comes back at him. Referee says settle down. They didn't. Here's a shorthanded chance.
And Stepan got hooked, and a penalty coming up. Stepan around the net. Oh, he almost had a second shorthanded goal. So that will wipe out one of the penalties, an interference call on the Devils as Jelena gets called. So now it'll be 4-on-3 for the Devils, and in 5 seconds the Rangers will be an even strength.
Good job by Camilleri actually coming back on the play. Kincaid was out of position. Camilleri, I thought, got a piece of it. He didn't. It just went right through the crease.
1:01 the time of the penalty to Eric Jelena. Hagelin is set to return, and now it's 4-on-4 on the ice. On goal that stick to side. Rebound chance for Gomez as he stuck with it, and Lundqvist stayed with him.
Well, that was Stahl that deflected the puck. Gomez tried to split the defense. That nearly did, and Stahl stuck out his stick, and he put the shot on goal. Here it comes right there by Stahl. And then Gomez follows it up in the positioning of Henrik Lundqvist in this game. He makes one save right there again, ready for the second shot.
Provided there are no other penalties, the Rangers are going to wind up with a 50-second power play advantage, their first of the game. Zuccarello got hit with that last shot, and he's hurting. And Zuccarello is limping to the bench in some pain. Larson comes in. Teams are skating 4 aside. Rangers are leading 4-0. And Larson moved it. Played there by St. Louis. Left it for Brassard. St. Louis, Brassard, Boyle, and Stahl. The Rangers 4. Brassard goes deep. That deflects in. Derek Brassard kind of shrugs his shoulders and says, "Okay, I'll take it."
That's because it was an attempted pass. I believe it went off the stick of Adam Larson and just snuck in between the arm and the post of Kincaid. Brassard has it. He's looking to pass. Looking. And either off the skate or the stick or both. Here it is again. Right off the right toe of Adam Larson. And Kincaid has a problem with it. The Rangers lead it by a score of 5-0.
Wow. 18th goal of the season for Derek Brassard. And that matches his career high set last season. Yandel fell down. Puck taken away by Zajac. The back pass gets it back from Green. Shot blocked by Yandel. Rangers on the power play for the first time in the game. And this Rangers power play presented by Volkswagen. Rangers have scored power play goals in each of their last 2 games. St. Louis, Kreider, Stepan, Hunwick, and Yandel. Here's Hunwick. Now Yandel with some room. Pass across St. Louis to Hunwick to St. Louis.
St. Louis had a good chance to shoot it the first time.
There's Stepan around the net. Rangers with a 5-0 lead. Got a shorthanded goal at the end of the second period and a 4-on-4 goal. Open to Stepan. Pass across. Gets it back. Oh, too unselfish was Hunwick. Long shot by Yandel is blocked. And the power play is over. So we are a little over 3 minutes gone by in the third period. The Rangers with a 5-0 lead. Kevin Hayes carries in. Now Marty St. Louis. Across for McDonough. McDonough picked up an assist on the Stepan shorthanded goal. His 100th career assist. And he has a 4-game point scoring streak, all assists.
Dan Girardi, I believe, is going to get a penalty. He was in front of the net. The net ends up dislodged. The goaltender Kincaid ends up in the net. And Dan Girardi makes his way to the penalty box. Dan Girardi, right side of your screen, gives Merrill a push. Merrill bumps into his goaltender. Off goes the net. And Girardi gets called for, I believe, interference.
On the Brassard goal, assist to St. Louis and Stahl at 1:55. Girardi into the penalty box, and the Devils have a power play. Rangers have had 12 players score points in this game.
Rick Nash, 7 shots through 2 periods to lead everyone.
Stahl takes over. Stahl and Boyle, Moore and Hagelin, the Rangers penalty killers. Dominic Moore, Hagelin. Nash, Yandel, Moore, Stepan, and Brassard, the Rangers goal scorers. All the way around the boards, Nash on, fires it the other way, goes by Josephson, excuse me, and Stepan clears it all the way down. Girardi went for interference at 3:26. Devils are 0 for 3 on the power play in the game. Cavallari fires in. Gomez. Gunna takes over. Little pass ahead for Jesper Fast, who clears it. Fast and Glass on the ice with Hunwick and McDonough. Now Gomez carries. Kevin Hayes has come on. Hayes and Hagelin. Gomez went down. Hagelin reverses. Camilleri there to play. 35 seconds to go in the Devils power play. Now Gomez. Hunwick. Nice play. Hunwick getting some extra time. Saw time on the power play. Some time on the penalty kill with Girardi in the penalty box. Pass went right through the crease. Gomez has it. Looking. Side of the net. Devils moved it well. Shot by Camilleri. Went off from Lundqvist, I believe, and wide of the net.
I think Hunwick got a stick on it, Sam. I think he just reached out with his stick and got a piece of it and deflected it wide.
Power play is over. Devils had 2 shots on goal. Rangers penalty kill 4 for 4 in the game. 21 for their last 22. Stahl was bumped, but able to move it to Zuccarello, who's back after he limped off and he blocked a shot earlier. Zuccarello looks like he's fine. Stahl up ahead for Rick Nash, who lifts it out. Brassard was bumped, and Josephson comes away with the puck. And Brassard ran into Ruutu. Excuse me, that was...
Oh, Ruutu's hurt.
Ruutu went down.
He's really hurt. Left leg. He's been running into everybody, and he and Nash came together in front of the Rangers bench.
Not Brassard, it was Nash the other way. 61, not 16. Yandel holding. 6.5 minutes gone by in the third. Ryder got a piece of it, tipping it into the Devils zone. Larson goes to play it for Matteau. Rangers with a big lead. The intercept by Miller. Looking with Kreider. Stepan winds it around the boards. And Girardi comes down. That was tipped away by Matteau. And Zubras gives it away to Girardi, who kept it in the zone. Nice play by Girardi. Kreider keeps it alive as the Rangers make some changes. Hunwick toward the net wide. Miller's got it in front, of save by Kincaid on Stepan.
Well, a good pass from Miller to Stepan. Stepan's had a heck of a game tonight.
Yes.
He has really been good.
It's that kid line, Joe. He's so young and exuberant.
That is true. A veteran in the middle.
Gomez after the puck. Stahl checks him. Got a piece of that pass. Severson's pass deflected wide by Boucher. Now Mark Stahl. Rangers home against Columbus Monday night. The Blue Jackets have won 9 in a row. And then Rangers at New Jersey Tuesday night and back home for the final regular season home game Thursday night against Ottawa. Season finale next Saturday afternoon in Washington. Jordan Tutu. Lundqvist got a piece of that. Elias pass across. Merrill recovers in center. 8:25 gone by here in the third. The Rangers adding to their lead with a 4-on-4 goal. That puck was out of the zone. Offside was whistled on the play.
Well, Matt Hunwick, he's had a lot of ice time tonight, and he makes a real good defensive play. 44, stretches out, has to come back the other way. How about that reaction? Goes down to block the first one. Camilleri made a good play holding on to it, and Hunwick reacted to that. Good play.
Rangers penalty kill 4 for 4 in the game. Foss took a hit from Fraser after he put it in the Devils zone. Tanner Bias chases it down. Foss off the boards to Moore. Moore to Foss. And Josephson was able to break that up. Yandel tried to keep it in, went just outside the zone. Big Mike Civic, the linesman, made the call on the offside. Keith Yandel with a goal and an assist in the game. As I mentioned, 12 Rangers on the score sheet in this game.
Well, and for Alain Vigneault, with all these games, 5 games, their last final 8 days of the season, he is just rotating 4 lines, playing everybody.
Rangers closing in on conference title. Closing in on a shot at the President's Trophy. All nice accomplishments, but just stepping stones toward what the players want, and that is to go a little farther than they did last season. And that is to get to the Stanley Cup and win it. And this Rangers team has showed that they have the makings of a team that can go a long way in the playoffs. They have really built, and a credit to the coaching staff, the way they have built toward the end of this season. This team has improved.
I think the thing that's really happened, Sam, is that these young kids have improved so much that they've become such an important part of the team.
Ryder with a good rush. Was picked up by Green, and the puck covered by Kincaid. Monday night on MSG. The Rangers take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Live coverage gets underway at 6:30 with Visa Rangers Game Night with Al Trautwig. And then at 7 p.m., the Rangers and the Blue Jackets Monday night right here on MSG. Hope you'll join us. And to all our viewers, happy holidays. Happy Passover, happy Easter. Easter coming up tomorrow. Tonight, the second night of Passover. And we wish you all the best from our family here at MSG. 9:52 to go in the third. Let's answer the Cadillac trivia question. 3 active NHL players lead their current team in career goals. Who are they? One got it the other night in Washington.
Ovechkin.
That's one. One is here.
Elias.
2. And the other one plays in California for the Sharks.
Oh, for the Sharks, huh? Okay.
Patrick Marleau.
Patrick Marleau. Very good.
That was a good question.
Who came up with that question? Was that you?
Maybe I did.
I think you did. That was an easy one for you.
Just had to check the score sheets. See who's still playing. Puck around the boards out of the zone, played by Andy Green. Now Gomez moves in. He's got room. Cuts in and shoots. Saved by Lundqvist.
Oh, tough save. Gomez going to his left. Shot it back the other way.
By Henrik Lundqvist. You just watch his moves in goal. He is working so hard to get his game sharp, and you see him make a save like that in a 5-0 game. You realize he's not relaxing one bit.
No, when you think 5-0, you think easy game. It hasn't been an easy game. Lundqvist has had to make a whole bunch of quality saves. 31 shots on goal for New Jersey in this one.
Lundqvist plays it around the boards for Hagelin. That was blocked by Zubris, picked up by Hayes. Hayes falls down as he tried to turn. Fraser was there. St. Louis keeping it alive against Zubris. St. Louis keeps moving. Crowd reacts. I thought that maybe Zubris had a hold of Marty St. Louis. The puck all the way down will be an icing on the Devils. 8:11 remaining in the game. Coming up, the Foxwoods Final 5. Foxwoods, excitement every day. St. Louis will be looking to get his game back into top shape. Certainly the time off can't hurt him. Rangers with 3 goals in the first period. The 2 goals back-to-back in the span of 25 seconds by Yandel and Moore really broke things open. McDonough with a drive. He scores! That might have been tipped in front.
I think it was, Sam. I'm not sure who ended up getting it. Foss was right there. Oh, what a shot from McDonough. The Devils ice the puck. And here comes the shot. Might have been Dominic Moore. I think Dominic Moore got a piece of it. Let's see. Or was it Fox? Dominic Moore, I think.
Dominic Moore had a goal in the game in Minnesota. Had a goal in the first period of this game. That could be a 2-goal game for him.
Fourth line's been really good.
Yes, you're right. 6-0 Rangers. Wow. Hunwick with about 7.5 minutes to go, a little over 7.5 minutes to go. Brassard, who has a goal in the game. Zuccarello sending it down the boards. Moore gets the goal, a pass off the skate of Zuccarello. And the two defensemen, McDonough and Girardi, get assists. And add another player to the score sheet, so that's 13 Rangers with points for the game. Lundqvist makes a save, and the puck goes wide of the net. Zuccarello moves it. Yandel is there. Under 7 minutes to go. 2 goals here in the third for the Rangers as they have skated well. Zajac to Camilleri. It's played by Boyle. Played toward the front by Camilleri, and a good job by Lundqvist. Got a little help from Stahl. The puck's still alive. Deflected off a couple of bodies and popped in the air.
I think Miller did a good job there coming back to the crease.
And the puck finally out of the zone. And Stahl. Now Boyle. And again, the chance go up from the crowd. Henry. And the puck to J.T. Miller, poked away by Kincaid. Under 6 minutes to go here in the third period. Dominic Moore, second of the game, 9th of the season, 3 in the last 2 games for him. Yandel. Nice pass to Hunwick, and Kincaid with a save. St. Louis for Hayes. Hagelin gets it back to Yandel. Now Hunwick to St. Louis. McDonough with 2 assists in the game, giving him 6 in the last 4 games. Turning is Hayes to the open man. Yandel down low for Hayes. Rangers controlling that pass for St. Louis, just missed. There's Yandel to Hunwick. Long shot, Kincaid the save, and he holds it. 5:06 to go in the game, and the Rangers with a 6-0 lead. 2 of those 6 by number 28, Dominic Moore, who tipped it in front. Here's the game recap, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Rick Nash with a goal in the first period, a career-high 42. For him, Derek Stepan with a shorthanded goal. End of the second period, giving the Rangers 9 shorthanded goals, tied for second most in the league. Dominic Moore with his 9th career 2-goal game. Goal in the first period, a goal here in the third. The league leader in shorthanded goals, team-wise, are the Winnipeg Jets with 10.
They had a big win today, 5-4 over Vancouver.
They stay alive in that playoff race. They stay in the wild card position in the Western Conference. Boston and Toronto are 1-1.
James Reimer putting on a goaltending clinic in Boston, keeping that game where it is. 40-some saves.
Oh boy.
Already for Reimer.
Look at Nash, still hustling. 6-0 Rangers lead as they look for their 3rd win of the season over the Devils. They play the Devils again Tuesday night in Newark. Jelena to Fraser, and he drives one that's blocked in front. Shot by Jelena wide. He was falling down. Shot save! Lundqvist sprawled out. That shot goes wide by Fraser. The Devils just firing everything. trying to find a way to break through. That's knocked away with a blocker by Lundqvist. Jordan Tutu up the boards for Jelena. Indeed, and the chance from the crowd for Hedrick. As he continues to be brilliant in this game. Omorutu. That shot, he scores! With 3.5 minutes to go, the Devils break Henrik Lundqvist's shutout bid.
Now, the Rangers couldn't get the puck out of their zone, and I don't know if Lundqvist didn't see. He's getting a standing ovation.
Yeah.
That's how good he's been in this game. That might have either hit something, or I don't know if he didn't see it. He's upset with himself. But this was just too long in the offensive zone for New Jersey. Ruutu sneaks by here. Look at that. Not much. Lundqvist is trying to find it. A lot of bodies in the way.
I thought it hit a stick on the way down.
It did. It did. Josephson ended up deflecting it, so Ruutu will get an assist. Josephson deflected it. And that breaks the shutout for Lundqvist. Boy, has he been great. It gives you an idea. He gets a standing ovation when New Jersey scores a goal.
Yeah, well deserved. He has put in quite the effort. So the Devils at 16:30 of the third period score to break the shutout bid. 6-1 Rangers lead it. Miller set up Boyle. Save Kincaid. Miller. Good pass to Stepan. Now Boyle to Stepan wide. Now it's the Rangers' turn to fire the shots. Kreider behind the net. Miller's ready. Boyle. Kreider again. Miller to Kreider. Tipped by Larson. Boyle to Stepan. Now to Kreider.
They look like they're on power play.
Right. Here's Boyle. Miller for Boyle. That was deflected by Camilleri, who takes it away and comes out of the zone with it. Offside. Devils with 2.5 minutes to go in the game. And the Rangers about to win their 50th game of the season. It would be the 4th time in franchise history that a Rangers team has won 50 games in a season. You're watching the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, excitement every day. Visit foxwoods.com now. Time winding down. Long shot by Severson goes wide. Rangers home against Columbus Monday night. Hope you'll join us at 6:30 with Visa Rangers game night without Trotwig. And then 7 o'clock, Rangers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. There's Merrill with a shot just wide. Bernier with a rebound blocked by Girardi.
They've given the goal to Ruutu, but it was definitely deflected by Josephson.
And now it's Ruutu from Fraser and Tutu at 16:30. By the way, Dan Girardi with the assist on the Dominic Moore second goal. That's his first point in the last 15 games, but he has played outstanding defense in hockey.
Those offensive numbers have nothing to do with it for him.
I want to welcome those of you who've been watching the Islanders Buffalo Sabres. The Islanders for the win. Sam Rosen, Joe Micheletti, John Genome here at Madison Square Garden. Rangers have a 6-1 lead on the Devils with 1:15 remaining in the game. Shot by Dominic Moore who has 2 goals.
He's shooting
looking
everything.
for the hat
He
trick.
is shooting everything.
He has never had a hat trick in the NHL. It's Provost with the puck. Rangers scored 3 goals in the first period and chased starting goaltender Corey Schneider. Rangers got a shorthanded goal late in the second period from Derek Stepan, made it 4-0, and they've scored 2 goals here in the third period, 1 a 4-on-4 goal.
I got a feeling that Moore's going to get one more shift. He's going to get him on the ice.
Devils move across. The shot went wide. 30 seconds to go. Devils broke through at 16:30 of the third period on a shot that was deflected Komarutu took the shot.
How about that play by Miller? 6-1, half a minute to go, and he slides to block the shot from the point.
He's double teamed. As the time ticks off, and they're on their feet at the Garden. The final seconds tick off, and the Rangers have defeated the Devils 6-1 to win their 50th game of the season. Komarutu being separated from Chris Kreider. These two teams will meet in New Jersey on Tuesday night. We go down between the benches to John Gino. John, what happened?
Yeah, guys, remember early in the third period when Komarutu was laying right in front of me injured? He had gotten slapped on the back of the leg by Mark Stahl. There were 2 or 3 other chances for Rutu to get back at Stahl. He waited till the last second and took him down way away from the play.
Now the Rangers congratulate Henrik Lundqvist for his 3rd straight win. Coming back from the injury, lost up in Boston. Now he's won 3 in a row.
Rutu right there. Oh, he takes the legs out. Used his right skate to take the legs out from Mark Stahl.
The Rangers salute the crowd. 4th time in franchise history that a Rangers team has had 50 wins in a season. Henrik Lundqvist gets his 28th win of the season. And for the Rangers, 13 different players scored points in the game.
Well, it was a team effort. Lundqvist was there when there were breakdowns. 4 lines rolled by Alain Vigneault throughout this game. And that is quite an achievement. 50 wins on the season after being just 1 game over 500 after the first 25.
Let's check out the 3 stars of the game, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com.
The 3rd star from the Rangers with a goal and an assist, number 93,
Keith Yandel.
He continues to get better. Had that goal in the first period. Added an assist.
Tonight's 2nd star from the Rangers with 2 goals in the game, number 28,
Dominic Moore.
He can smell the playoffs. I'm telling you, his game, he just gets more intense the closer the playoffs get.
4th line contributes. Dominic Moore with 2 goals, 3 goals in the last 2 games for him.
And tonight's 1st star from the Rangers with 35 saves for his 28th
And the number 1 star is the man who gets the loudest ovation, Henrik Lundqvist.
He was great. He was just great in this game. He was so good at not only stopping the first shot, but putting himself in a position to make second saves as well. Tremendous effort in game by Lundqvist.
The Rangers now have 107 points. They are number 1 in the NHL. The Rangers beat the Devils 6-1. We'll be right back.